translating words into equations and inequalities. All right, so let's see what we have here. Let's start with some key words. Now, a lot of this is color-coded, but maybe it's not easy to color code. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and mark it differently. So like when I see variable words, I'm going to underline those. So underline, or maybe I'll just put it over here. So when I underline, that's going to be my variable keywords. When I see coefficient, the coefficient I'm going to circle. So the constant, when I see the constant, I'm going to put a box around it. Okay, so to me, this might look funny to you, but it's going to be the variable with the coefficient in front, plus or minus the constant, and then it's always going to equal the total. So that would be my little setup. The circle coefficient with the variable underlined, plus or minus the constant, it will equal my total. All right, so we do have an example of what a problem would look like, but the example down below is worked out on the next slide. So before I move to the next slide, I can see my variable words to look for. So per, each, every, things like that. My coefficient is the amount that happens more than once. So like if I had an example like 5x plus 2 equals, I don't know, $30. Okay, so my coefficient is the 5. So this is my coefficient. So let me circle that. So that's my circle, that's my underline, that's my boxed information, and that's my total. Okay, so my problem would maybe say it's $5 per box of something plus a service charge or a fee equals the total of $30. So $5 for each box is, maybe I'm buying 5 boxes, maybe I'm buying 6 boxes. So this 5 is the amount that's going to happen more than once. Okay, the 2 is the fee. So you see here, constant, it only happens once. A fee or a starting amount, all of these are possible options. Okay, so like I said, this example is worked out on the next slide. So let's see what we've got going on over there. Okay, so again, I'm going to just make my little note. I do my circle coefficient, underline my variable, plus or minus my constant, and then it's going to equal my total. So those are things that I want to look for. Okay, so at the market, Meyer buys a bunch of bananas for 65 cents per pound and a frozen pizza for $4.99. The total for his purchase was $6.94 without tax. How many pounds of bananas did Meyer buy? So first step, it says to define the variable, because you can't just say X is blah, blah, blah. Well, what is X representing, especially since we're dealing with a specific situation? The variable is usually given in the question. Okay, so the question says how many pounds. So since it says how many pounds, that's the variable. So I'm underlining that. Now when I look back in the problem itself, I look for where it talks about pounds, and I see here. So I'm going to underline that because that's my variable, and I know, if you can see right here, here's my underlined part, right with the variable information is going to be my coefficient. So I'm going to circle that, 65 cents. Then we just buy a frozen pizza for $4.99. So since I'm just buying one single pizza, that's going to be my constant, because the constant is what happens once. And then this will be my T. I'll put a T for total. All right, so I identified my variable based off of the question, how many pounds. So X is going to be my pounds of bananas. Then you're going to set up an equation in your own words. So like, what's the situation that's going on? Well, we have the price per pound times how many pounds he bought plus the cost of the frozen pizza, and it will equal your total. So read through these. I'm going to go straight to practicing some examples that are not actually worked out all for you. So we have another example. Go through there. Let me just go through and break it apart, and then you can read the steps on your own. So here, Larry owes his parents $2,200. Larry just made his first payment of $250, and he plans on making payments of $50 per week until he pays off his debt. How many weeks will it take Larry to pay off his debt to his parents? Okay, so reading that, I see in the question, it mentions how many weeks. So I'm going to underline that. That's my variable part. So when I go back into the main part of the problem, I see my per week right here. So that's my variable part. And right with the variable information is going to be my coefficient. And then I also have that $250, and it says that was his first payment. So that's a single payment. That's going to be his constant. And what he owes his parents is the total. So if I put this together, my circled, underlined, plus or minus my boxed information will equal the T, the total. I have $50 per week, I don't know, plus or minus the $250, it will be plus, and then what he owes his parents. Okay, again, you read through those steps and piece that together. But I'm going to move on to, that's the try this as your own, but I will break it apart for you. So if you're watching this video, it will get broken apart to help you out a little bit. Stacy went to Bath and Body Works. She bought some hand soap at $5 per bottle and 1 bottle of shower gel at $13.50. Her total was $43.50 without tax. How many hand soaps did Stacy buy? So in the question, how many hand soaps? So I'll underline that. So that's going to be my variable part. So when I look back up in the problem, I'm looking about the hand soaps. So right here, I see it talking about the hand soaps. And so the $5 is what goes with the hand soaps. So $5 X. And then you're going to buy 1 bottle for $13.50. Maybe I need to change the color. Okay, so that's boxed in there. All right, so you can piece that together. It goes circled information, underlined variable, plus or minus the box equals the total. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about with this whole circle, underline, box, let me know, and I will be more than happy to go through that with you. All right, so I put together a few other quick examples. Laura is making a patio in her backyard using paving stones. She buys 44 paving stones and a flower pot worth $7 for a total of $73. How much did each paving stone cost? So, in the question, how much did each paving stone, so we're talking about the paving stone. So that's going to be my variable information. So when I look back up in the problem, I see here, that's paving stone. So that means the 44 is going to get circled. And a flower pot, meaning just one. So if I buy a flower pot, that's going to be my boxed information, my coefficient, and then a total of, so that would be my T. So if I do, like I was saying before, my circled, underline, plus or minus equals my T. My circled is 44. My underline is my paving stones, which I don't know. Plus or minus, well, if I'm going to also buy a flower pot, that's going to be plus the $7 for the flower pot equals the total of 73. There's my equation. That's it. All right, so next one. Scott works on cars. He charges $35 for each car plus $7 per hour. How many hours did Scott work on the car if Kylie's car bill was $63? So let's see. The question says how many hours. So I'm going to underline that. Then it says for each car, but it also says per hour. So that's where it's going to be tricky. But I know since the question is asking how many hours, the per hour is also going to get underlined, which means the 7 will get circled because the 7 is with the hours. That will be my coefficient, and then 35 will be my constant. 63 is the total. So when I fill this in, I have circled is $7 times the number of hours we don't know plus the charge for each card equals a total of $63. There's my equation right here. And X is number of hours. Okay, sorry for my noise. Anyway, Natalie is a softball coach. She has a pitching private lesson with Casey. Casey's mom pays Natalie $11 per hour plus a $6 tip. How many hours did Casey's mom pay for if the total cost was $39? So I'm going to break this apart, and I see it says how many hours. So back in the problem, I see per hour, which means the 11 will be circled, and a tip, one-time tip, box that in. T is the 39. So circled, underlined, boxed. Circled is 11 per hour plus the tip equals the total. There's my equation. X is the number of hours. Okay, so there's just a few other examples, but now you do have some inequalities. New words. So this chart right here is going to be helpful when you're figuring out what inequality you're going to use in the problem. So there's some already worked out, but I'm going to skip straight to some where I'm going to write myself. Okay, so here I have, you can work no more than 40 hours. Okay, so the amount of hours you can work, which we will just say is X, so the amount of hours you can work, X, is no more than 40 hours. Well, X, the no more than, if you look down below, no more than, where would that be? No more than, you see right here. So the number of hours you work is going to be less than or equal to 40. So you put less than or equal to. Next one says the maximum toll in Texas is $2. So the total would be 2. The maximum, okay, so the toll is X. So the toll in Texas is going to be the maximum of $2. So maximum, if we look down below, we see maximum is right here. So the toll is going to be less than or equal to $2 because $2 is the maximum. Okay, the minimum, so X, and then the minimum now is over here, is greater than or equal to. So the minimum is 120. So whatever X is, the number of hours is going to be greater than or less than 120 hours. And then the last one is at least 3 hours of driving. Okay, so X, the amount of driving, is at least 3 hours. So if we look here, at least, that says at most, so at least is over here. So that would be also greater than or equal to. All right, so try your best. Let me know if you have questions. Again, I'll be more than happy to go through this with you.